I see this happen all the time with buyers. We walk into a home and within seconds, they either connect with the home or they don't. And most sellers don't even realize this is happening until their home sits and they don't know why. So today I'm going to walk you through what's actually happening when buyers walk into your home and why some homes connect instantly with buyers while others don't. Hi, I'm Tina Veltri, and I help people buy, build, sell, and relocate with confidence along Florida's Space Coast, the place where I grew up. Now, on my channel, I share real practical guidance to help you understand what actually matters, whether you're buying, selling, building, or just trying to figure out your next steps. Now, if you're thinking about selling, this is one of the most important things to understand because, yes, buyers do notice what needs to be updated and they do look at what needs to be fixed, but that's not what's deciding it. What's actually the deciding factor is how they feel when they walk into your home. And once you start watching for this, you see it happen over and over and over again. Now, right now, I'm working with a buyer. And in the beginning, she was all over the place, as is normally the case with buyers, looking at different areas, not sure if she wanted a community pool or a private pool, looking for a yard for her dog, but not really sure about the fence and how big she wanted the yard. There was a lot of moving pieces. But as we've gone through the process and we've narrowed things down, it's become easier. And now it's obvious within seconds whether a home is going to work out for her or whether it won't. Because when it feels right, she slows down and she starts picturing her life in the home that we're looking at. And when it doesn't, she's really ready to move on within minutes. Even if nothing is technically wrong with the house, it just didn't connect with her. And I see the same thing happen in different ways all the time. I had another buyer and he was trying to decide even whether he was going to rent or purchase a home. And he wanted to be very close to work. That was his number one must-have. But the home that he ended up buying was actually further away from his work than he expected. Because when we walked into that particular house, it felt just right. And we went back for a second showing. We sat on the porch and he said, this just feels like home. This is the one I want. And in that moment, everything else stopped and nothing else mattered. That was the home he wanted to purchase, even though it was one of the homes that was furthest away from his job. And that's the part that sellers don't get to see. They think buyers are just deciding on price, updates, features, and those things do matter, and I've done videos on them. But they don't override how a home feels when a potential buyer steps through that door. And this is exactly where pricing comes into play too. And I've done another video on that because pricing and perception really do go hand in hand. And that feeling starts earlier than most people think. Now let's talk about first impressions. Before buyers ever step foot in your home, they're already forming an opinion. When they walk up to the home and the door sticks, or the key is difficult to turn, or the handle's loose, or the front door just looks worn, that's already creating a feeling. And once that feeling starts, everything builds on top of it. I've walked into homes with buyers that weren't even clean. They hadn't even been deep cleaned. And that immediately changed my buyer's perception because they aren't just seeing the home anymore. They're questioning the home. They're not thinking, oh, the seller was too busy to clean. They're thinking, what else have they not taken care of? And that feeling doesn't go away as we walk through the home. And this is where it really starts to shift a buyer's perception. Buyers don't just feel something. they start making decisions about the home. If it feels cluttered, they think there's not enough storage. If it's not clean, they may be thinking this home isn't well maintained. And once that happens, everything else about your home gets judged differently. And sometimes it's not even about the house itself. It's what's inside of the home. I've walked into homes where the furniture has held the sale back. Truly. Too much furniture, wrong layout, things blocking the flow, or too many personal items, photos, and decor that pull buyers into your life instead of helping them to picture themselves living in your home. When buyers feel like they're walking through someone else's home and they can't picture themselves living in it, they disconnect. But the good news is this is usually fixable. Most of the time, it's not a major renovation. It's just taking things down that are personal, moving things around, removing pieces of furniture, opening up a space, letting the home breathe. Because here's the truth most sellers never hear. And this is the part I want sellers to stop and really think about. You can update your home, you can fix everything, you can spend a lot of money, and you can still lose buyers in seconds. And this is where staging comes in. It's not about decorating. It's about removing anything that gets in the way of a buyer seeing themselves living in the home and how they would actually live and move around in the space. Because if you have to figure it out, they usually won't. If you're watching this right now and you're starting to realize your home might not necessarily be connecting with buyers the way you thought it would, this is exactly the kind of thing I walk through with my customers before we ever go to market. Not just what to fix, but what buyers actually care about, what actually matters to buyers. And I also put together a seller guide that walks you through step by step of what to do to put your home on the market, and I'll link that in the description below. If this is hitting home for you, I did a full video breakdown on how to price your home the right way, because pricing and how a buyer feels when they walk into your home really do go hand in hand. And I'm going to link that at the end of my video, and I'll put it in the description below as well. I'm Tina Veltri. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel as I put out a new video every Tuesday. And remember, on this channel, I share real guidance to help you buy, build, sell, and relocate with confidence. And if this video helped you, make sure to watch the next one, because this is where most sellers get it wrong from the very start. I'll see you next week.